All right, everybody, I am fired up to introduce you to our guest today. His name is Boss, Ron Boss Everline, most notable for being Kevin Hart's trainer, but also has trained celebrities, NFL athletes, owns a gym in California called Just Train, and this is the community where the celebrities go to feel safe, to feel motivated, to feel inspired. Just Train is his business, and that's what he is all about. Just Train, the motivation, the discipline, and the intensity that he brings to the podcast today is a representation of what he brings every day inside and outside of the gym. Not only an entrepreneur, but also a family man. You'll enjoy Ron Boss Everline. Let's get after it. Welcome to the Burn Podcast, where strength meets science, food fuels energy, and mindset creates momentum. I'm DK, your personal trainer, and I want you to train, eat, and think differently. So get ready to take your health and fitness to the next level here on the Burn Podcast. Let's get to work. The first time I came out here, boss, to meet you at your gym, I was humbled, bro. I have to tell you, I was humbled. Like, because usually in Burn Boot Camp, in my world, I'm stepping in the gym, you know, like,
Big
we got, you know, we're like a very much a neutral strength conditioning. Yeah. And I came in and tried to lift with you that one day and ended up puking in your parking lot. Yeah. That was nice. Yeah. After you were yelling at me on the pull-up bar.
Yeah.
Sprinting at 12 miles an hour on the treadmill after pressing 20s for 25 reps, pressing 100 pounds on the incline on like your third set, just yelling at me.
Yeah, I mean,
yelling at me from across the room.
I think for the most part, you did an amazing job. You kept the energy up. You did great. You didn't, you know, one of the things that I loved about it, even though it was a new challenge for you, you didn't quit. And you went back home. I remember getting that call. You're like, nah, that will never happen to me again.
Never.
You'll never let this happen to me.
It would never happen to me again.
Yeah. But, you know, I think life, that's life, right? We can't always.
I needed that.
It's the same for me. I go somewhere, someone does something to me. It's like, all right, cool. Same way I felt when I came to Burn. I was like, oh, all right, cool. This is great.
Yeah.
So that's what I love about the dynamic of just being able to be dynamic and being able to do different things. So you coming into my world, I'm coming into your world is what makes this so exciting and so much fun. And there's so much similarities behind what you've done, what we've done. And I'm excited to just be here with you today.
Dude, me too, man.
Yeah, bro.
Me too. I'm so happy that you're here on the podcast. Getting to know you, getting to know Kevin, your whole crew, Kalani, Rob. I mean, all your guys, man. It's just, you know, it's really cool to see you at like pioneer. All of you guys together are really pioneering like new stuff. Yeah. You know, whether it's you know, Kevin and he's pioneering the business side on top of all of the acting and comedy, and or you, like we were talking about this a little bit on the way here. You usually don't get somebody who is a trainer dedicated to their fitness. That's their trade. That's who they were born as. That's in their DNA. Yeah. And then also get this like business side to it as well. So, you know, you grew up in Houston area. So you grew up in Houston. Where did it come from, Houston? Where'd you get you know, you got fitness from football. I'll talk about that a little bit, I'm sure, and then that influenced you. But where'd you get the entrepreneurship side, if you want to dive into what made you who you are?
Well, I think when I think back to kind of some of my upbringing, I watched my uncle own some Popeyes chickens and some car washes and stuff
Franchise
like that.
Guy. I like him.
Guy,
all right. I like him already.
And I had some jobs. I mean, I cut a lot of grass, you know, and I saw the type of money I can make cutting grass, and worked in a lumber yard for an entrepreneur. He was a cop full time, but he had this booming lumber yard. And I remember just being able to see the type of money that he was making doing those jobs. And while playing football, I was always just entrepreneur driven and figured out like, man, I actually want to drive something home. And I never wanted to be a trainer. I'd always been trained, always had a strength.
You want to be a football player, right?
To be a football player.
Yeah.
So, you know, that was the foundational principles of discipline early on, right? You need those things to keep you accountable. And as I was building this, what I thought was going to be an amazing football career, I was building these principles that I thought would transfer into entrepreneurship. And I remember just saying, look, the game of life, right? Like, even though football didn't work, I was going to transfer the game of life to whatever I did. And so entrepreneurship is what it was. And I just tried to make a game out of it. And, you know, as much as I tried to run from being a trainer, it just was the calling.
It kept following you.
It kept following me. And so so when you ask the question, business, I realized that they can work together. I realized that this world has, within the health and wellness, has so much influence, and I could lead. I can still be that executive at different companies, that I've worked with, but I also can lead with what I'm really good at, and but I can be good at business too. And that's really where it all came from. And it's the foundational principles of just watching the people around you. And then when you align with other individuals like yourself, or I look at a Doss and Cunningham, who owns, founder of C4, I'm like, man, this is the drive, right? And this is what you want to do. Or you look at a Don and Adam that owns Fabletics, or my brother Farshad, like so many different individuals.
My Fabletics Burn Bootcamp gear?
Yep, the F is on the other side. I love
it. Right there. See that?
I love it.
Let's go. Shout out Fabletics.
That blue is popping.
Like it?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. But yeah, no, I think that's really where it came from. And man, meeting you and hearing how entrepreneur you guys are, you and Morgan, and what you guys have built has even lit even more fire under me. And I'm excited to kind of see and build and kind of learn more about what Burn is, and kind of how we integrate. And it's an exciting journey ahead of us for sure.
Yeah, I feel like we're cut from the same cloth in that regard of, kind of growing up, needing to fend for yourself. It's funny that you talk about having your grass cutting business. I lived in Michigan, and my very first franchise was a snow shoveling business.
Oh, wow. Yes.
Although I knocked on the doors and I was the salesman, and I'd contract my buddies to come behind me and 20-minute snow removal. In 20 minutes, we'd get it done for $20. That was the whole shtick.
Nice.
But I recognized that in you, and we got a chance to meet up. It's like, man, there's another person out here like me who is entrepreneurial driven, fitness first.
Yeah.
Because we can do so much through fitness. And I want you to talk a little bit about just, the ultimatum that people have. I can either be this or that, right? I can either be fit, or I can be successful in business, or I can be a great parent, or I can be, you take the eight buckets of life. A lot of people have this idea that, and you can see this in entrepreneurs, right? Line up all the successful entrepreneurs that line 1,000 of them up. The average one of them is going to be overweight, out of shape, because you have this ultimatum. So we get guys like you and I, we get to help break that.
Yeah.
We get to show by example, and you're doing that. So that's what I really admire about you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I think one of the things that's super important is no matter who you are, no matter how successful or how unsuccessful you are, we all need the gym. We all need the gym. The gym is the most important place that we're all the same. Right? When you walk in that gym, it's all about how you get 1% better. And everybody's talking about balance, right? Or you hear the things about balance. And I think the only balance life has is when you're in something, be 100% there. The pie chart may shift, right? The pie chart may be more business right now, but when you get that 10% with your kids, be 100% there. When you get the 5% with your wife, be 100% there. When you're in the gym for the 1 hour, which is probably 2% of your day, give it 100%, focus on the gym. And so I think when you start to bucket life with 100%, but understanding that it will never be an even chart, that's how I want to show up. And I think that's how we want to lead. And that's the energy I want to lead with, because that's why I get to show up with great energy. I don't have it all figured out. All I know is that I'm going to give great energy, and we're going to lead with respect and love to our craft. And I want to make people around me better. And I know that that's what I do. I make people around me better, whether it's in the gym or outside of the gym. From a mental perspective, I literally make people better. And I'm not going to run away from that, right? If you don't like that, you don't like the accountability. One of the first things when we got on the phone, I think it was 2 years ago almost now. Mm-hmm. And I won't go into too much detail, but I literally said, bro, I want you to pop your stuff to me. I want you to tell me about the good things, inspire me.
Yeah, you did tell me that.
A lot of times people get around you and they don't, your success or the things that you accomplish make them feel bad, versus I want to be around individuals that inspire me.
Right.
I want to be around people that motivate me and uplift me and take me to the next level. Like, I'm not insecure about where I'm at. I just know where I'm trying to go. And the only way you get to go there is who you surround yourself around. And so that ultimatum, going back to the ultimate thing, has to just be a mindset shift, right? Of like, I can have this all with the right understanding that there will be a sacrifice, right? There is a sacrifice, and that may sacrifice your time with your kids at a certain moment of your life. But when you're with them, give them 100%.
Yeah.
when you're, so when you're in the gym, just take that time. And when you're trying to sit down and eat food, just be conscious that, hey, I don't need to eat this. I don't need to have that, or so on and so forth. So that's the ultimatum. But we got to shift that. And I think conversations like this can lean into some level of perspective of like, how do we change the way, just because you're successful in one field, you can't be successful here, in which I think they all go together.
Yeah. And when we did talk on the phone a couple years ago, it was eye-opening to me because, I'm surrounded by great people all the time. But having somebody else say, hey, you can talk about the successes that you have. Like, you should be able to share the good news in your life with other people, and ever since then, that's stuck with me. And I've really, having no shame is a real skill.
Yeah.
Like to be shameless, but not in a bad way, in a good way. Trisha and I were talking about this, our VP of marketing, to have the inability to be embarrassed.
Yeah.
And if people could find the inability to be embarrassed, then they might show up to the gym for the first time.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we're in our own head, right?
Yeah.
We're in our own head. We don't want to even walk in the door the first time because of like what other people might say. But, that obviously, has been Burns' bread and butter, right? Is to talk to people who are on the couch.
Yeah.
Right. They've been disenfranchised in a way. Like they don't feel like they're a part of something bigger than themselves. Spirituality, but not in the religious sense, in the sense of I'm a part of something bigger than myself. And, you found that with you and your crew. You guys came to Burn Boot Camp Lake Norman, the flagship. People saw that, and I would love to ask you what that experience was like, because you invited me and Morgan and I to a show. We came to Kevin's show the night before. You guys were throwing it down in Charlotte, and we had agreed to meet up and get after it.
Yeah.
What was your experience at Burn Boot Camp Lake Norman like?
Man, that was incredible. I think one of the most incredible things was community. I think a lot of times people undervalue community, and walking in there and seeing that community was really breathtaking to really understand what you guys have built, right? To see it in person, to hear you talk about it, but to see it. And then the workout was humbling, right? We really went through it. We had a late night. We hung out and we got in there and we got after it. We wanted to show up with
getting after
energy.
it, that's for sure.
You know what I mean? We showed up with that energy, but it was incredible. The crowd, I mean, just the welcoming family, the people that were, cheering for you. Let's go, let's go. And that's really what you're doing, right? You look around the room. I tell people all the time, when you look around the room, you want to just see a bunch of people saying, let's go, let's push it. And that's what that was. That was like, come on, just a little bit more, just give a little bit more. And that's life. All we're trying to do is just give a little bit more. And you guys, Burn, represented that first experience. And we walked away from that going, okay, this is what we want to be a part of.
Yeah. This, the high fives, they didn't scare you, did they? Too much, the high fives?
No. High fives don't scare me.
You're a high five machine, bro. You're a high five machine. We just got done with the Costa Mesa workout, and you fit right into the Burn Boot Camp culture.
Yeah.
Insert boss, and he's off to the races.
Well, I think it's just like the natural coach in me to want to inspire people and lead people to success and make them feel good about. You got to remember, it's hard. Everything you just talked about. People coming to the gym, making a decision, having other people look at them. So I'm intimidating in itself. People may know who I am or whatever it may be. You're intimidating. We're screaming. And then we go, holy high five.
Yeah, let's go.
Right?
We did it.
And then we did it. And then like, oh, that transfer of energy and that touch could change a whole mindset for the rest of a workout.
Yeah.
And so for me, I just think that the high fives are amazing, and leading with that type of love all the time, it takes nothing away from you. And that's what your community has done really, really well. That's the same thing that we do at Just Train, right? It was just like the gamify. How do we gamify movement? How do we take the moment of like the traditional, like, oh, let's just go work out. And it's like, nah, like we're going to quit the socialization. You can have social hour after the hard work, but let's get the hard work.
No talking during the workout. I learned that the hard way at Just Train.
Yeah, like, hey, boss, but let's talk about, I don't got to say to you right now. Let's get this work done.
You had like the coolest people in the world there. I walked in and Gunna was there. Matt Barnes was there.
Yeah.
Who else was there?
And everybody.
Carucci was there. Yeah, I mean, just like people, I was like, oh, there's that. I know. Okay, they're here too.
Yeah.
I was trying to meet everybody, and you're like, DK.
Yeah.
Let's go. Move it.
Let's get this moving. Let's get this moving. And I think, that's culture though, is community. Yeah. And so, but yeah, we don't talk enough. gym, at least during my workouts. I mean, some people go to the gym to talk, but
No,
we don't talk.
there's not a lot of talking at Burn Boot Camp either.
No.
Probably a little bit more when you and I get together, just because we got to catch up real quick.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
Maybe the trainers yell at us to pipe down a little bit.
Yeah.
As we're talking, you had a football aspiration. It turned into training. You're at Just Train, founder of Just Train, doing big things. I want to ask you a couple questions around just how you got like the transition from football into training.
Yep.
And you can start with kind of like who your first couple clients were. But the reason I want to ask you that question is because so many of us, we get stuck in this identity that we are this one thing. I had this when I got released from the Giants playing baseball. It's like, man, as soon as you leave a sport, especially, and you dedicate your whole life, your whole soul to it, and then I involuntarily got released. That's a nice way to let egotistical baseball players down. You got fired. Okay. Yeah. I got fired because I wasn't good enough anymore.
Yep.
And that's a hard thing to say, especially right when it happens. And so how do you encourage people through your story, to, in the face of something that, is their identity, it's everything, and it gets stripped from them. How do we keep moving? How'd you do that from football to fitness?
Yeah, I think, I like to be completely honest. I had to really think about this for a really, really long time because I dealt with it. And the only thing that made change my mind, because again, you're absolutely right. It's like, I know I'm good enough, but what, and I also had a big ego and I wouldn't call people and I wouldn't make the phone call to just say, hey, what about this? And so you have to learn that you got to put certain things to the side. Right. And so that was the first step. And then, football was the greatest thing that ever happened for me. Right. Cause I wouldn't be sitting here today, moved to Atlanta. Was able to really anchor in every day around the same discipline that football taught me. So I tell people that football was the best thing that ever happened to me. Every day I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing. I created some really great concepts like moms, and my cousin played, one of my other cousins, Derek's older brother, Dwight, played for the Giants, and he was opening a sports training facility. I was like, all right, I guess I'll do this until I decide if I'm going to play football again. Every single day I was like, 4:30 in the morning, waking up, going to the gym, and I was just like, I got to beat the block until my feet hurt the slab, right? Yeah. And I was like, every morning, without question, I had no clue, but I knew.
You're just getting up and going.
I had to get up and go because
just move.
An idle mind,
yeah.
I don't know if you ever heard of this. Idle mind is a devil workshop.
No.
And
what is it? Say that again.
Idle mind is a devil's workshop.
Idle mind's a devil's workshop.
Yeah. When you're sitting idle, there's so many negative things, so much. And I was like, I got to stay moving.
Yeah,
I got to keep moving. And that's been one of the things that has blessed me by staying moving and keeping my mind focused on what I didn't understand. And so started training. I started off doing boot camps, actually. Very, very interesting. I started off doing an all-women's boot camp. That's how I started. I'll never forget the story where I met a lady named, I was running the streets. I was handing out these flyers, right?
Yep.
A boot camp, 5 a.m. in the morning, 5 a.m. in the morning. In Maryland, was one person that gave me her 150. Nobody believed. We had this huge facility, 17,000 square feet, because we trained football players, baseball players, young athletes. That was the basis of the business. But I just kept saying the business for women, the business for like general pop. And I kept saying, this is it. This is it. I'll never forget Marilyn showed up. And Marilyn was the woman. And there were moments where I would wake up in the morning and I was like, and I always reminded myself, Maryland did not pay her 150 contingent on whoever else I had to come here. Mm-hmm. And so I had to show up for Maryland every single day. And that humbled me, and that helped me become who I am today by showing up no matter what the price is, no matter what it is, being a man of your word and being honest and committed to what you say you were going to do. And Maryland stayed with me, and then the thing blew up, right? I went from having her for about 2 to 3 months at that 150. I was struggling, didn't have a bunch of money, to I was the best boot camp in Atlanta, in our area, and had morning and afternoon. And I built it. And then all of a sudden the right people start to come. And then that shifted. And again, at the same time, I was still battling, like, do I want to be a trainer? And
were you still after football at this time? Or did you make the mental decision that I'm done with football? I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do this for the moment.
So that was the defining moment. I got a call from a CFL team, come work out. and I was starting to grab some momentum, and I was like, yeah, I can't leave this to go hope for that, for something to not work. And I'll never forget, I won't say her name, I've talked about this a few times, lady in the class, she's 300 plus pounds, I'm doing football workouts, I'm doing all this, and she had lost 100 some odd pounds. And I was like, you know, again, ego, I'm like, I'm helping people lose weight, people coming up to me telling me their stories, I'm like, oh, great. And she was like, you just helped me, you know, I'm healthier enough to have a baby now, get pregnant.
Yeah,
I was like,
big. That's big.
I was like, oh, she started crying, and I'm like, all right, all right, good. And I didn't really know that emotion. And then I went home, I sat down, and I pondered on what had just happened. Because visually, I didn't want anybody, you know, you don't want anybody to see you weak. You're like, okay, she's crying. And I really didn't understand that. You're young. You're like, kid, okay, what do you really mean? And I sat down with that, and I was like, oh, this, like, what she just said is real.
That was powerful to you.
I was like, oh, like, I can help people like this. Yeah. And that's when it hit. And then after that, it was a trickle effect of people just sowing the seed of like, this is your calling. I created a concept called CJ the Workout Kid. It blew up. And it was kids teaching kids how to be fit. And I'll never forget CJ's dad. He's like, I was trying to, again, be an entrepreneur, trying to own a dump truck, trying to do all these things. And he's like, this is your calling. And I was like, all right, I got to do this full time. And so that's what it was. And then from there, I created a concept called Teacher Get Fit, where I went to schools, no location. I went to schools, taught teachers how to be fit, use the location. You get 25 to 30 teachers out of school. I've created that program across Atlanta.
How old were you during this time?
24, 25.
Okay, so you're in your young 20s.
Yeah, 24, 25. And I never forget, I emailed every school in Atlanta because it's public record. I stayed up, created a blueprint, blind CC'd all those, and the principal started hitting me back, assistant principal. We would love this program. And that's how I created all the trainers. That's when I realized I wanted to create something more for trainers. And created that. That thing took off, and then that's when Neo, manager, called and was like, hey, you gonna come on the road? And I was like, oh, it's gonna be 3 months. And fast forward to 3 months turned into 3 years. And within those 3 years, there was a moment where Neo was like, I don't want to train with Boston. He's too easy. I'm like, me? Too easy? I'm too easy? And his manager was like, yeah, he said you don't, he says he's tired. You're like, okay, I'm coming into a world that's not, I'm a dog. I was like, all right, we get back on the road. You sure you want me to be myself? And that was a change in tide that happened. And then from there, we've been. And
then Neo got jacked.
Neo was in the best shape of his life. He took his shirt off. The best compliment was when he took his shirt off on stage, because he had never been known to take his shirt off.
Yeah.
And so the goal was to, and
was that his goal to do that? Or
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't something we talked about.
Okay, yeah.
It was just to get healthier.
Yeah.
He took his shirt off. You know, we've traveled across the world, took his shirt off, and it was like, damn, that's what it was all for. Yeah. But you got to put your ego to the side, like going to get his food, sitting at the dinner table, like, nah, we're not eating that. And I'll never forget the day. And this is for someone that's listening. It's like we were at a dinner table in New York, and they were like, oh, we're going to bring some bread. And I was like, no bread. We don't eat bread. And he's like, bring the bread. He's like, what's discipline without temptation? Like, if I can't see the bread, that's not discipline. And so a lot of times people think what's discipline is because not having access to something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But you have to, in order to be disciplined, you have to have access to something, or you have to do something to be able to consistently. And I was like, man, I love that. And so that stuck with me in part of my career today. Like,
that's going to stick with me too.
Yeah.
It's like, people say keep the food out of the pantry. It's like, well, that's no discipline.
Yeah.
Go buy the food, put it in the pantry, and then don't eat it at midnight.
And then don't eat it. Yeah.
I love that.
That's it.
I'm going to remember that one. I need a little bit of that in my life. Last time since we talked, since we saw each other, we talked a bunch since. I lost like 35 pounds.
Bro, you look great.
I told you I was motivated. Literally, I walked away from Just Train as I'm puking in your parking lot. It was mostly water and a little bit of vodka from the night before at Kev's Little Deal.
Yeah.
And so, I get done and I'm like, I felt it like halfway through the workout, but I am not puking in this building. Yeah. That's not going to happen.
You were going through it.
And I thought it was over.
Yeah.
And then I got in my car. I was like, not over. It was
body said
it was not over.
Yeah.
Let me out. But ever since then, you see, you're a motivating guy. You're motivating to the motivators. And it's because you practice what you preach, and you've been doing this for a long time. When you first got recognition, like, I don't know if you like this term or not, but I'm going to use it. You correct me if I'm wrong. Celebrity trainer. Mm-hmm. When you went from the general population to celebrity trainer, did you stopped everything to go on the road with Neo? Everything else, you went on the road with Neo, and then you're like, okay, I like this better. I got some momentum here. I got one client rather than a boot camp or something like that. I got one client, maybe a handful of clients, and this person impacts so many people that if I can impact this person, then I'm going to impact a lot of people. Was that kind of your thought process? Like, or am I overthinking it and it just kind of naturally happened that way in which you got with Neo and, he took his shirt off. Everyone's like, oh, he's jacked now. Why? How'd he get so jacked? And then they go Google or whatever they do. It's like, oh, he's got a trainer and ball. Is that how it happened? Like, how did you get from that point, training Neo, to like where you're at now? Everyone knows you in the fitness industry. Kevin Hart's right-hand man, trainer. You've had many clients in between. Yep. Building an amazing, you're kind of back to your boot camp days at Just Train and, working out with, like, there was like 12 of us all there. You're barking at everybody, telling them to stopping, and I'm listening and all that. So what's that evolution look like?
Yeah. So I'll say that, like I said, a 3-month job. So you don't stop.
Okay. Yeah.
It was a 3-month job that turned into 3 years, but I never get caught up in title. I get caught up in work. So I was focused on all of it. I was focused on making sure that Teacher Get Fit stayed in place because it's important. My kids are with them every day. Now my kids, but at that time I'm like, the teachers are not fit. No one's giving them. They're talking about how they were underpaid. So I'm not going to stop that. This is just an opportunity to evolve, right? Okay. So celebrity trainer, I used to be like, what? But now I don't care about title. Right. I do what I do because I love what I do and I know that I'm helping people. You call me whatever you want. Yeah. I sit on boards. I'm an executive at companies, but it doesn't matter if you're not moving the needle and helping people get better. And so the evolution of it all really just came down to how much impact, and that takes time. I didn't know that at first. A lot of times people would quote like celebrity trainer, and I'll be like, but I'm boss. Like I'm like. And you got to remove your ego, mm-hmm. right? Because so many times I'm like, but I have this thing that I've done and I'm leading people. And it was always about the job. I always worked as if I'm an intern, mm-hmm. no matter what. Till this day, I wake up and I still think all of it can be gone, right? So I'm going to work every day, commit, put in the work, put in the hours. And some people say, well, why do you think like that? You've accomplished so much. And I only want to think like that. I only want to continue to build blocks and build. It's not about a title, because I know a lot of people with a lot of great titles that aren't good humans, right? So I would say to me, like the title to me, I had to shift. I had to remove that. So yes, am I thankful for the Neos, the Russes, the Kevins? I moved to Saudi Arabia. I work with the royal family and stuff. Like, man, I've been so blessed. I've flown around the world with some of the biggest people, and I realized that my power is being me, right? It's not about the title. The title of me owning what I'm doing and leading in my purpose was the thing that I always had to show up as. And so if someone sees me as the celebrity trainer, good. Someone sees me as the fastest guy on Instagram as I am, great. Like, you know what I'm saying? When people come up to me and want to race, like, I get it. Like, I'm the guy. Like, I'm fast. You know what I mean? And so, it's just kind of what comes with the territory. So I can wear a lot of titles. I can wear but the most important title to me right now is being a dad. Yeah. And just and leading them by example and trying to be a true representative. But to the people, I love the fact that I get to align with great individuals. Kalani may say, man, look at what Boss is doing. He's excited about that. So I don't want to devalue someone else because of my own ego, where it's like, if I would use the NFL would have been the soundboard, right? Kevin was the soundboard. Neo was the soundboard. Russ, whoever. It's what you do with the platform. Right. We can bring trainers on a Burn Body Bootcamp using, for example, if you blow up in our ecosystem, it just shows that our ecosystem works. Yeah. Right? Like, whatever, no matter where you are, you play sports, talent's going to be seen. Right. Yeah. We're going to bring you to the seminar. Everybody's going to want you. So that's what happens. So the title, but I understand it. I get it. VP of sales, chief of staff, chief of, I understand it. But for me, it had to go down to the root of, are you a good human? What you're doing? Are you driving right? And so, yeah, I love it. I love the position. And there wasn't a mental shift. It was a big shift when people started coming up to me out of nowhere, like, oh man, I want a photo. Hey, hang out. Can I? And you have to really that. But other than that, man, I love the people. I go places now and people say what's up to me and I'm like, I'm the people's champ. Everybody knows me and they're cool and I love it. You know what I mean? It's like the best thing. It's like, oh, that's old boy. Yeah. You know, sometimes people say, let me grab a photo, and sometimes they're like, bro, I just thank you. Yeah. And that's the best thing that I could ever do is people like, man, you don't know, you inspire me. Had a lady chase me down the other day. She's like, I just had to get this moment. And I've had moments where my ego got in the way. When I saw someone I looked up to, I didn't ask for the photo. So, you know what I mean? So like, take advantage of the moment, and build it, and let the other subside and go up.
Yeah, and you walked into Costa Mesa today. We literally got done working out like, I don't know, 90 minutes ago or 2 hours ago, and you walk in right away, and it's just, you turn it on, right? Yeah. You walk in, and we're doing kettlebell swings, and the first thing you do, this is how I know you're a natural trainer, the first thing you do is go up to the first person you can see where their RPE isn't at like an 8 or a 10, and you put your hand up and you're like, rep it out. You know, you know this person, and, you know, but it's just speaks to how open and welcome you are. You're a family man. We obviously, you know, Burn Boot Camp is built by Morgan, myself. You know, we have 3 kids. The majority of our franchise partners, they're power couples, right? It's mom, it's dad, it's 3 kids. All of our locations have child watch. A family is in our DNA. Yep. And, you know, what attracted me to everything that you got going on is what you said earlier, is that you lead with dad first. Like, you are a dad first, and this is the most important job that we have. And that's just not, you know, what you say. Like, I got to sit down with you and Dom, your beautiful wife, at dinner. When I think the very first time after we kind of hooked up on the phone, we came out to California. We sat down for a late dinner when we got into town, and you guys were like the coolest, easiest people to talk to. Obviously, clearly rooted in core value and family focus first. So, you know, in this season of your life, you know, as you're doing like bigger and bigger and bigger things, right? You're on the board of all the companies that, or some of the companies at least, that, you know, you're involved with. You're such a strategic thinker. Whenever we get on the phone and just talk about like, hey, this idea or that idea, strategic thinker, connector, but you're all motivated intrinsically, but then you get that like inspiration now. You got 3 little boys. Yeah. Talk to me about just how having 3 boys, building a family after you had already seen some success, you know, even turn the switch, lit the fire even brighter for you.
It's what I didn't know. It was the greatest joy of what I didn't know. It's what I'm learning. You know what I mean? And it's like what I wasn't taught. You know what I mean? And so that's so exciting, looking at these young boys that have so much opportunity and access ahead of them. And it gives me, like, my son is asking to come work out with me. You know, he's 5 and he's like, Dad, I want to, and they're in the gym with me all the time, but it's like, there's that switch that is bigger than yourself. Like, there's this other purpose, like acquiring a bunch of things, but also like that, who cares? Like, what these guys are like, what are you going to, and I know that it's up to me to give them discipline. It's up to me to give them that, me and my wife, right? Me and Dom, like, we're rooted in like, hey, be a good human, right? Be a good person. And that takes time, right? Because what we're around, what we get to see in every day, it's like, be a good person, be a good human, control your emotions, talk to us. And so that has been the most humbling thing. And I was just telling Nick and Pat, it's like, I like to speak from what I've learned, not what I know. There's a few things I can say I know, but what I'm learning right now about these kids is like, they're all different. There's so much, but we're going to be rooted in principles. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Do you guys have, like, and I'm just like genuinely curious about this. Do you have explicit like family principles that you live by, that you like, that type of dinner table thing where you recite and you talk about being a good human? I'm curious. Do you, is that something that you are speaking life into them? Is that something that you write down? Is it something that you and Dom had a conversation and said, hey, here's how we're going to raise these kids? What's the dynamic between you guys and how you go about setting the core values for your family? And I ask because I go around Burn Boot Camp Nation, and I talked to so many members, and I asked them to show me the vision of the future for you and your family. And there's so many people don't have anything tangible, right? They don't really know, so I was just wondering how you go about it. I think a lot of people would be interested in that.
It's foundational with me and Dom first, right? We have to set the foundation to because dad sometimes is not there. Yeah. So she leads on a lot of the things that dad can't, always do, but it's grounded in principles, it's grounded in faith, it's grounded in love, it's grounded in being, again, going back to just the simple thing, a good human.
Being a good human.
Being a good human. Like that is like the most simple thing. It's like be kind, make eye contact. Someone's speaking to you, shake their hand. All those little things, and it's an unnegotiable. It's a non-negotiable in our household. And Dom does a really great job at that. She's probably harder on them than me because I know that it'll shift soon. And so right now she's the more like disciplinary person that's on them about our core principles. Because I know that right now they fear me in this sense of like, dad's big and he's a muscle man. And I don't want them I want them to respect me. I want there to be a little bit of fear, but I want them to respect that and what dad has done for them. But I want them to understand hard work and dedication. And so that's really where it comes from. Nothing comes easy, right? They get to see a lot of things. These young boys living in LA and, some of my friends are who they are and that's their uncles, right? We want to make sure it's grounded in principles in our household and what the Everline stand for. And it's, and I think I would say all my brothers, Kev included, Harry, all of us, some of the other names, Russ, is grounded in principles, right? And that makes it easy, right? Because we all value the same thing as family.
And bro, I appreciate you missing your golf game to be here on the podcast today. I know that you were trying to get out and swing the links with the boys.
Well, but it goes back to what I said earlier. When you say something, you're a man of your word, right? And so as much as that trip presented itself to be a great trip, I told you were coming in town, we were committed. I've been more golf trips, bro.
I appreciate you, bro.
And to more importantly, that what we're building is built on, straight communication and opportunity to say, hey, let's go knock some shit out the park.
Yeah,
let's leave
integrity, right?
Integrity.
You do what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it, especially when you don't feel like it.
Yeah.
Especially when there's another thing that's bright and shiny and it's right in front of you and you could easily make another decision. So I get that.
It's funny. I have a abdominal strain.
Okay.
And I wasn't supposed to train. I work out every day. First day I ran, I walk in the gym and I saw that energy today. And I was like, I said, I don't know if you heard me. I was like, I can't do lunges right now because of the pushback.
Yeah.
But I'll definitely work out.
You definitely grabbed some 60-pound ground to overheads.
Yeah.
And that was a tough. I could only find 55s.
For yourself. I did 60s. You did 55s. You upped your game though.
I upped my game.
You upped your game.
Getting stronger.
You did amazing.
Stronger. Thank you.
You look great. I'm telling you, 30 pounds down. That's
Thank
impressive.
you. I feel good.
Yeah.
I feel mentally clear.
Yeah.
And I'm building memories.
Yeah.
When you're clear, when your body fat's high, and you're metabolically, I would say, unwell, your brain isn't as sharp.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
Dude, I have had the last 6 months, I've just been so clear. I've been so clear on it, making a lot of memories with my family. Oh, and speaking of memories, I'll ask you about what are some, since you and Kevin hooked up, how many years ago was that?
So, interesting story. I met Kev at the barbershop when I was 19. So, the guy that cut John, who's still cutting our hair, was where I met Kev at.
So, you knew him before all of the stuff? Before?
Yeah, okay. I was playing football.
Got it.
Kev came in the barbershop, Kev, and was like, hey, I'm in a rush. Can I pay for your spot in line? I'll pay for your haircut if you let me go. And I'm like, nah, bro, I'm not. I got to get my haircut too. And, this is early soul playing. And then fast forward, I was on the road. There was this, there's familiarity with each other. And then Neo kind of went through this shift. I started to go to Saudi, and I was in Saudi for some time. I have a team, chef trainers, and therapists that all live in Saudi now. But Kev was like, yo, I want you to come. We were in Atlantic City, did a workout. And he was like, all right, I want to work out with you in LA. And I was like, all right, bet. And that's where it all took off, like 13 years ago. And the biggest thing for me, I told Kev, I said, look, I'll commit to being a trainer. Like title. I said, just can we do some amazing business together? And Kev said, absolutely. And so that's when we started to do some of these apparel deals, and we're thankful for Fabletics. And we ran across the country. We were signed to a company called Rally Health, and we partnered with them in a big way, which brought healthcare and movement to, and that was acquired by United Health. So like being able to like, Kev, we grew together. And I was able to say, he said, I want to be on the cover of a magazine. All right, cool. I remember there were times I had to leave my wife because we were in the middle of magazine shooting and he needed to get ready, like, you know, time. And I was like, all right, I got to go on vacation with him and his wife and just be like, all right, we're in the gym.
Be with him.
What does he eat?
Yep.
And people don't understand that. And so that's where it goes back to. And we've committed. I mean, I used to see Kev. I mean, I see Kev every day, like more than I see my wife. I mean, you got to think. We live in LA together. We see each other every day, and then we on the road together every day. There were moments we never not saw each other in the most pivotal time in our lives, the most down, up. We were together every day, and the gym was like the safe place. And so that's what I tell people all the time. The gym is like my golf, right? I've met some of the biggest, best humans, not from a status perspective. I mean, just from the good energy, it's the brotherhood, it's the sisterhood, it's the safe place, right? Because when you walk in that gym and whatever you need to, it's that frustration, whatever you need to get out, it's just stay in those four walls.
So 13 years ago, and you guys have been, so how has the relationship evolved since then?
Man, I kind of touched on it. You're there every day at the beginning, you know, and then over time, you know, does it become more of like, does he become more, you're overseeing it and are you every day on it still? We love each other, right? So we like to spend time with each other, right? It's like,
y'all's videos are funny when you guys do so. Everything about Kevin's funny, but when you guys are together and you guys are working out together, dude, it's like, that's comedic fitness gold.
Yeah, no, we love each other. So it's easy to be around. There's a lot of commonality with, you know, we get along. Like it's easy, you know what I mean? And we think alike a lot of times, and we get to bounce ideas. I don't always need to say something back. He just listens, and sometimes, you know, he just listens to me. So it's amazing relationship. And so yes, the dynamic has shifted because we've grown. 13 years ago, I was in my 20s when you know what I mean? So now we want to evolve. Everything should evolve. But yeah, no, I think the system works. Like I go on some movies, I don't go on other movies. I go on some trips, I don't go on other trips. And we building, when you're doing what we're doing, we got to be broken up to go, I got to be able to do this moment. I got to go be able to do something. I have a big event in Vegas tomorrow, Saturday. Like there's so much, right? So I can't do all things. And so we're locked in. We either text every day, like we literally text every day. And that's just the brotherhood, right? And that's most of our guys. We have group chats and with anybody, but people look at status versus human and in the discipline of the human, just like you're tied into, you built something amazing. I love to say, you know, I tell my team this all the time. It's like, it's a privilege to be around guys and girls that have built amazing things, right? Because it's really an anomaly. It's not, everybody's not doing it. But again, going back to the early conversation, a lot of times people don't want to give you credit because it makes them feel less about themselves versus going, no, I want to be connected to someone or something better than me, right? And so I tell people all the time, I don't need to dim his light to light mine because mine is shining bright and so is his. And so we all need to do that. And we all need to align ourselves with someone greater than yourself. And so I know that I'm a greater source to Kev in different areas, and he's a greater source to me in different areas. And that fits to you, me. That's why I told you, I don't want to curse, but pop your stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Pop your stuff to me. Tell me how great you're doing. Let that, you know, I talk about this all the time. And one of my friends, Marco, said, my candle loses no light to light yours.
Yeah.
Right? And so we should be doing that all the time, but people want to get in the way. And even if I'm only around you for 10 minutes, let me light your candle. Because if I light 1,000,000 candles, knowing that only one may come back, because all you need is a flame.
Yeah, and it doesn't take away from your flame.
And that's how we operate.
Yeah. Well, and that's what this relationship has been. What any memories stick out to you that maybe you hadn't talked before that you want to talk about on the Burn Bootcamp podcast? Like, was there a struggle? I'm ups and downs of a trainer-client relationship. There's a lot of ups and downs of, memory. My best memories are always when I'm on the road for some reason. I'm on the road, I'm traveling, you're not in your normal day-to-day, any stories that come to mind that are just funny or?
That kind of I got to think about that one. I think early days, most people don't know I slept in my car, ate peanut butter and jelly because I had no money. And I never forget, my sister came down. I had a relationship at the time. It was going bad. And I would when my sister came down and stay at the house, but when everybody left, I slept outside of my gym. And I'll never forget, someone asked me and they found out, and I looked at them and I was like, I know this shit's about to get better because this is as low as you can go. So I know it's only up from here. Like literally, it was so bad. But people were like, man, you showed up with a smile every day. And I was like, was I not supposed to? Like I'm going to show up with a smile every day. And that's one of those moments that's just been like the most fun for me because I embrace the struggle. I embrace the pain. And it also frustrates people that I'm also so positive. Like, to be honest, it's like, it's frustrating. It's frustrating when I hit you with a positive perspective in the middle of you're trying to be all depressed. You're trying to be all depressed and angry. I've dealt with that. So I'm also learning to let people vent and get their shit off. But I'm just like, man, I've dealt with some tough in my life. Like, I don't know. I just like dealing with positive stuff.
You almost become addicted to that, like, because you go through the pain and then you see what your life is like on the other side of the pain, and it's like, okay, give me more of that.
Yeah.
If this is the fruit I bear from going through this pain, sign me up all day long.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just something I think is that this is what the gym is a metaphor for, right? Like if I see a weight in front of me, and you're like, hey, DK, pick that 100-pound up, and I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, I got 80s. You're like, no, pick up the 100-pound, and I'll go do it. And then I'll overcome myself. Yep. And even though I had some doubt, or even though I had a little bit of some hesitancy, I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah.
You pick it up, you go through the hard stuff, you become a stronger person, you're compounding that mental resilience. And, I just think fitness is such a incredible metaphor it's like a tangible metaphor.
Yeah.
You can go to the gym every day and you can become a better human, a better person, better character.
Yep.
And so what is your plans for, the future? Just Train. Talk a little bit about, I want to ask just a few more questions. We got maybe like 15 more minutes. Is that right, team? We got about 15 more minutes? Okay. I want to ask fitness business questions. These are for me. I asked all the other questions for other people mostly.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
These are for me. I am so curious about this. We'll go deep into it. When first of all, talk a little bit about the partnerships that you have and your evolution from fitness to now fitness, business, board meetings. You're in. I know the rooms you're in. You're in big rooms, making strategic decisions, having a real impact from a business perspective.
Yeah, I think you got like that's very, very that's an interesting question. I think when I think about C4. Right, I give you a good example using C4, using my influence early, knowing that there was a bigger strategy later. So now I can look back and say, see, I've been a partner in NutriBolt for the last 10 years. We're celebrating my 10 years with the company.
Congrats.
Thanks. And what I think about is like the things that shine brighter on the other side, but you have to have a vision for a greater later. And I think that's what it was with C4. And I remember being approach at the time. I'm posting every day. Another company came in and offered me a 6-figure, big money. And they were like, we want you over here. I won't say their name. And I just remember saying, nah, these guys counted on me. These guys bet on me early. I'm going to go with the guys that bet on me early. And that tenfold, I've been able to work with them in multiple ways and build an amazing relationship and bring in multiple talent, brought Kev in, and we've done some amazing things. And when you think about great partners, what Kev has done with Fabletics and bringing me in and all the things that we've been able to do on the business side. And then we co-founded Vita Hustle together. I saw the need for that market. Just being able to sit in this seat, did a great partnership with JP Morgan at using fitness, right?
Yep. That was a big deal, wasn't it? The JP Morgan one?
Big deal. Everything we're talking about is big, right? Full transparency, everything we're talking about has either been game changing for us, but JP Morgan was a game changer, but it truly what you just talked about, it was the anchor of how Kev saw the deal at first was like, and then I was like, but think about like financial fitness. how do we teach people how to become financially fit? It's the same as the gym. You want a nice body, you can't eat that. You want more money in your bank account, can't go buy that.
Can't buy that. Yeah, that discipline. Yeah,
it's the same. It was like you don't just wake up and become 100,000-aire or even a 10,000-aire. Whatever your goal is, there has to be a sacrifice, right? People get on these podcasts and like, oh, I got to bunch of money and they want to inspire people that way. But like, what is your goal? You're trying to get to $2,000 in your bank account. Okay, what are you going to do to get there?
Right.
And so that partnership was really, really amazing, and it clicked, right? And so a bank so big, I just started to think like, if my creative mind can bring value to a big company and add strategic understanding between my relationship to this relationship, and I can say, it makes this deal makes sense, and it helps you over here, which is why you say burn at the beginning with Fabletics. Well, that's our partner. Why wouldn't we collide? Why wouldn't we bring those things together? And so I just think that's the business mind of me, of just understanding that I can build all these relationships, but how do I connect the dots in my mind? I've been able to partner with the NFL, man. Like I tell people all the time, using fitness as the vehicle to now going to be the first guy to ever go to an NFL combine as a non-athlete with fitness. That's the business. Going to talk to the marketing department at the NFL. Man, like that, those things people don't know I do, but it's like, that's the fitness business, right? You're so disciplined. You're so good. You build a brand, not so good because it's not that I'm so good. It's like I believe. And then the doors open up and the opportunities present itself. So, and being honest and being true and following through. That's one of the things that I pride myself on. It's like trying to follow through and bring more value. And that's what the C4 was. Okay, y'all signed me to this deal. I see this endless amount of potential. All right, cool. Let me go bring more value in this side. Okay, guys, I got an idea. Even when we weren't filming content and didn't have the budget for it, I'm like, but if we do this, and they're like, we're going to trust you. And it worked. Boom. Won a Telly Award. Boom. Did these. And just taking those gambles, right? Because I only want to bring great people in. How are we going to do it together? And so that's what that shifted into. And I just understood that, how do I do this? And I was doing it by myself. With Kev, but I was doing my own venture investing, doing all these different things, not venture, but just investing and just doing it. And then all of us, we went off to the races together, and then Robert Roman came in and helped us. We always say a rising tide raises all ships, and we believe in that. And I'm going to keep running with it forever. And that's the fitness business. And then Just Train. Look, I didn't start Just Train thinking, I started it like we were in that Miami. I'll never forget, it was Twitter. It was no Instagram. And I was just like, don't talk, just train. That literally was that. I don't want we just talked about not talking in the gym. That's literally where Just Train came from.
Yeah, that's your number one rule. Just shut up and work.
Don't talk, just train. And then all of a sudden,
talking so much,
I started realizing that it was mindset, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, just train a mind and a body follow. I go back to that boot camp. I did not want to go, but if I was training my mind, like, all right, the only way you're going to become successful if you get up.
Yep.
The only way this is going to, not monetarily successful, the only way people are going to count on you if you show up.
Yep.
If you show up, people will count on you.
Yep.
No one knew me, so why would they show up? He's not going to be here. It's a quick money. So I'm going to keep showing up, even when the money's not right, or even when I'm going to show up. And that's what I built the fitness business on, the Just Train business. So now I can look back and say, man, the trainers that have traveled and worked for us in different countries or on chefs or all these things were an idea. I didn't have it all figured out. Everybody's trying to come into this game with it all figured out. Bro, I'll be the first to tell you, the art of trying is an amazing thing. You know what I mean?
People ask me that too. Like, did you think this was going to be big when you first started it? No. I was in a parking lot. I just thought I wanted to do this a couple times in North Charlotte.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like some grand vision that you have from the very beginning. Right.
And then the vision gets clear.
Yeah.
A lot of time. And that's where Just Train the mind and the body to follow, which now can go all over the place.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
But people, even Lauren today, the trainer, she calls me Justin. She thought most people on Instagram thinks my name's Justin because of Just Train.
Just Train, yeah.
Yes, so I love it. And so even people, I'm literally walking down the street, race me, Justin. I'll be like, oh, what's up? So it's a part of the brand. It's a part of building what health and wellness takes you all over the place. But because self-help books sell all day long. So if I can be a person that's saying, look at it's one of the biggest category, billions of dollars. If I can be one individual saying, take care of yourself.
Right.
If you can be another individual saying, take care of yourself, because they hear you differently. I'll say this really quick, and I got long-winded on this topic. It's like, David Goggins, I used to watch David Goggins. All the hype. David Goggins, this, David Goggins. And it wasn't, I just was like, okay, like I am David. And then I started to say, no, I need him. He's doing something that I need. And he's saying things that I can't say because I'm a partner. And I was like, oh, I love this guy. And it was just, I resonated with shut up and just do the work. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It was so, it was like, okay, it's a no-brainer. Then you start to understand that it's a different voice. And I can appreciate that voice. I can appreciate your voice. And that's the value of the industry that we're in. And when you look at Kev, look at Mark, you look at DJ, they're anchored in the gym. Mm-hmm. And they're the biggest in the world. Mm-hmm. So why wouldn't you? Right. Because it speaks all languages. I don't even got to say a word, and you know what I mean when I tell you to pick up that weight off the ground.
Yeah, everyone needs that. Everyone needs that inspiration, and they need the people around them. Yeah. That community around them, too. Right?
If I'm saying do that, I think you have more.
Yeah. There's a sense of, like, you believe in them when you're, like and sometimes that is the only time where somebody actually believes in you.
Yep.
Like, we don't understand, I think, maybe you and I do, generally speaking, I don't think we understand how discouraged people are in the four walls of their home a lot of times. You know what I mean?
We do.
Yeah.
We definitely do. And that's why it's important that we say good job or speak life into people.
You know how much that matters.
It matters. Yeah. It matters. And if I can be that vessel, so that's what the fitness industry has been for me. That's what it's all transformed into be. It's not always how do I sell one thing for another thing. It's like, can I just be an inspiration? Mm-hmm. And then what's these things that we pick up from each other as leaders to say, oh, I like that. Okay, great. Oh, okay. Everybody can win. It's enough.
So I got to ask you, we got a couple more minutes left. I got to ask you a couple things because I texted you when I saw Justin Bieber come and work out at Just Train with Gunna. Yeah. And that was really cool. And it was one of those moments where, like, I know you thought that was cool too. You know, like you're kind of used to seeing like famous people. But when Bieber came, what was that like for you? And was that you guys? Yeah,
I know him. Okay. You know, it's super cool. But it was, you know, it's always exciting for my team. I've been in this industry for 15 years now, right? Yeah. It's always exciting, but it's more exciting to see my team get to see what we built, you know, and that's where it's like that level of inspiration. It's the level of protection. It's the level, he goes there, right? But there's a level of trust. There's a level, and that's where you want to inspire people, right? And that's why I wanted my team. It was more like, look around, guys. This is something, but just keep going. But because there's so many other people that I won't mention, but he posted it. So yeah, there's so many other people that go to that gym that you'll be like, but I also don't want people to come to the gym for those moments. I want people to come to the gym because it's work. And we're like, that's what Just Train stands for. Mm-hmm. Like, you're coming here to work. And like, that's what he does. You know, Gunna works. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, he's working hard.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's building a health and wellness brand. And so those are things you want to be like, those are things I look across and go, I'm inspired by that. Mm-hmm. I don't got to try to do the same. I'm like, I'm inspired by that. Mm-hmm. Like it's easily to motivate me. Mm-hmm. I want to look at you and say, oh, that was amazing. I don't even got to try to do it. I just want to be like, man, I'm proud of you. That's amazing. And a lot of times so not to go away from it, it's like, let's give him his flowers, but also he's here for himself. Yeah. Yeah. So leave him alone. To get better. Let him work.
Yeah. No, I can definitely resonate how that's cool for your team and how you've created that environment. It's a safe space for people.
It's safe, man.
Yeah. It's a safe space for people that generally, they wouldn't feel safe going anywhere else.
No. And they know it's safe.
Yeah. 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 And you're at the helm of it. It's been really cool being able to sit down and talk with you, boss. Thank you for being here. I want to give you just the microphone for 2 minutes and I want to allow you a moment just to speak to a Burn Bootcamp member, somebody, who maybe they don't get that encouragement in their four walls of their house. Maybe the buckets of their life some are full, some are empty. We're as a population, and I know this because you know this too, because we just travel so much, and we'd have to be absolutely blind to not look around and know that it's not only, that 40% of people are overweight, and that's the highest that it's ever been. Although health and fitness is as popular as it's ever been, there's people out there that need words of encouragement to actually pick up the tool and to use it and to bet on themselves. So when you're talking to somebody and you meet somebody like that and you can tell they're not betting on themselves, what's some of the ways that you might speak life into them?
Yeah, Devan, I'll just be honest. I think I tell people all the time, I'm only going to be honest, by the way. I shouldn't even make that statement. When I say to that member, every little thing counts. Positive affirmation. Don't say things negative in your mind. So if you're the person that's getting up and trying to take that one step, take that one step. And if that one step gets you a little bit closer, you're not going at my pace. You're not going at Devan's pace. You're not going at the people around you. Use that as motivation. Use yourself as a building block, right? Meet yourself where you are, right? Because I've learned that I have to meet people where they are. People have to meet me where I'm at. So give yourself grace and meet yourself where you are and just take one step. Don't be down on yourself because you may not be where you want to be. Don't be down on yourself where you used to be, right? Because a lot of times in our mind, we compare to our old selves, right? Don't compare yourself to your old self. Compare yourself to where you are today and be happy with it so that you can move forward. Don't be disappointed. And if you are disappointed, use that disappointment to ignite a fire under your to say, I'm going to make the change just a little bit. And it's only one day at a time, and just be committed to it. And people say, oh, you can't do nothing in 20, 30 minutes. Yes, you can. You can do a lot. Mm-hmm. If you go to a burn class, do everything that you can just to be a part. If you go anywhere, if you go for a walk, if you go to a burn and then you leave and go for a walk, do whatever it takes so that you feel good in your soul, because it's not just about the physical, it's about the mental. Going to burn, going to just train is a mental endorphin release so that you can feel better, so you can be better for the world and the people in yours. That's what this is. How do I go and take care of myself so that I can take care of others? And that's just being kind. That's also being an inspiration. Someone can see you and you may think, oh, I'm not where I want to be, but they're like, I wish I was where you were. So always understand, they say comparison is the number one killer of joy. Mm-hmm. They don't say, but we say. Mm-hmm. Don't compare. Mm-hmm. Compare yourself, move forward, don't do it. Focus on your right now to become the best version of yourself. And whatever that looks like, you define it. Don't let the world define it. Don't let anyone else. You define what that looks like and go for it.
Boss, beautifully said, man.
Yeah.
Beautifully said.
Thank you, brother.
I really appreciate you being here today.
I appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah, Burn Bootcamp Nation just had a treat hearing from the man himself, Boss Everline. Hey, hit up Boss, just train. And if you guys would do us a favor, all right, do us a favor. Your reviews on the podcast, it's like oxygen for me, all right? It keeps me going. It keeps me motivated. So let me know what you think, what you learned from Boss and all the wisdom that he brought here today, all the experience that he brought here today. And we're going to end this thing like we always do, Boss. You ready? 2 claps on 2. 1, 2.
Love it. Appreciate you for having me.
Appreciate you, brother.